Hello and let's learn Russian. I am super glad to see you here on my YouTube channel Russian teacher Veronika. You are super very welcome, and yes, we will learn Russian language today. And this Russian lesson I will teach you how to use and how to conjugate the Russian verb снять. снять. And I must explain, I think, why I chose exactly this Russian verb for today's Russian lesson. I have even 3 reasons for this decision. And the reason number 1 is this verb is very frequently used in modern Russian language. So many different Russian native speakers will use this verb, and you must understand what it means and how to use it. Okay, the reason number 2 is this verb has quite unusual and very surprising conjugation. I am pretty sure that it will be a little shock for students who learn Russian language. And the reason number 3 is this Russian verb has a lot of different meanings in Russian language, and this definition, these meanings, they change a lot according to the context. Okay, so now you understand why did I choose this Russian verb. Before we start, I have to say a huge big thank you to my constant supporters. Their names are right here. Many thanks to you, and this is a really important thing for me and for my channel with Russian lessons, because Russian YouTubers now do not have any monetization. I do not have any direct income from YouTube, and this channel, educational channel with Russian lessons, can exist only if you support my channel. These people whose names are in the frame, they support my channel each month with some money. Many thanks, and if you also want to support my channel personally, you can donate to my channel. You will find the link in the description box below this video, or in the first comment below this video too, obviously. And yes, if you have no opportunity to support me in this way, you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, write me a comment. This is also very important for a new channel with a small amount of subscribers. Yeah, if you hit the like button, it shows that my content is interesting. If you write a comment, it means that YouTube will notice my video and it will promote to bigger audience. So yes, these steps are super important for development of my channel. Now, finally, let's move on to our Russian lesson. So first, I have some parts of this Russian lesson, and we will start from the general basic information. So, снять, it is infinitive form. How to understand if a Russian verb is in infinitive or in a conjugated form already. So, infinitive form, it's very easy to understand. So, if you see in the end of the Russian verb this combination of t and soft sign, t, like here, снять, you know that this is infinitive. Okay, next thing to discuss is that снять is a perfective verb. Perfective. So in Russian language, if you are a beginner, maybe you don't know, but we have such a special thing, quite Slavic thing, what is called Russian verb aspects. We have only 2 of them, imperfective and perfective. So imperfective is снимать, снимать, and perfective is снять, снять. Yeah, снимать, снять. So what's the difference? Very shortly, very basically, снимать, imperfective, you use if you talk about repetitive action, something that you do sometimes, rarely, or always, every day, or if you are talking about, you also use imperfective снимать. And if you use this Russian verb, you must know that it has 3 tenses, like a normal verb. Yeah, it has past, present, and future tense in Russian language. But then, if you talk about perfective pair, about снять, you have totally opposite situation in Russian language. So, снять, perfective pair, you use if you talk about result, about a completed action, and when something happened only one time, and you see the real result, yeah, with your own eyes. Okay, and another thing which is very difficult and that you should know very well, that it has only two tenses in Russian language. It has past, no present, and it has future tense. Okay, so today I will teach you how to form future tense and how to form past tense and no present. Now we move on to conjugation, and after I conjugate this verb, this Russian verb, I will give you examples so you would understand how this Russian verb, this Russian conjugation works in a context, yeah, in the real authentic Russian phrase. So let's start with conjugation. Я сниму, я сниму, ты снимешь, он, она, оно снимет, он, она, оно снимет, мы снимем, вы снимете, они снимут. That's it. This was a conjugation in future tense, and a very difficult thing, especially for beginners who just started to learn Russian, is that this form actually looks like present tense. But this is a trap. Don't believe it is future tense, no present. I mean that foreigners who learn Russian at the quite low level, they think that future tense is always formed in Russian language with буду. That's not true. We have imperfective future tense that is formed with буду, будешь, and so on, but we also have a perfective form, perfective future tense that we form without буду. So я сниму, it means I will film. And now we will move on to examples. Again, all of them are in future tense. Okay, so the example number 1 is скоро я сниму новое видео для вас. Скоро я сниму новое видео для вас. So here I used the meaning of to film, yeah, сниму. Okay, let's move on to another example in Russian language, and it is, so example number 2 is ты снимешь книгу с полки, когда я приду в библиотеку. Ты снимешь книгу с полки, когда я приду в библиотеку. Yeah, here the meaning is to take off in Russian language. Okay, let's move on to another example, and it is я уверена, этот режиссер снимет отличный фильм. Я уверена, этот режиссер снимет отличный фильм. Yeah, here again I talk about filming in Russian language. Okay. Она снимет пальто и сдаст его в гардероб. Она снимет пальто и сдаст его в гардероб. Yeah, so if you take off some clothes in Russian language, you should use also this Russian verb снять. Okay, now we move on to plural in Russian language, and here is the example. Мы снимем эту квартиру, она нам понравилась. Мы снимем эту квартиру, она нам понравилась. So here we have another definition of this Russian verb, and this is to rent. But be quite careful with this definition, so you can easily say снять квартиру, снять комнату, снять дом. But if you want to rent a car, you would use another construction in Russian language. It's better to say взять на прокат. Взять на прокат. Okay, now you know that renting something in Russian language can be quite difficult too. And we move on to another example, and this is with the Russian pronoun вы. Судья, вы снимете обвинение с подсудимого. Судья, вы снимете обвинение с подсудимого. So if you talk about trial, a court, about these things with law, so you can use also this Russian verb. And the last example in this part of this Russian lesson is with the Russian pronoun они. Эти бодрящие напитки снимут вашу усталость. Эти бодрящие напитки снимут вашу усталость. So today at this Russian lesson I tried to choose to combine many different meanings, yeah? So I would like to show you that this verb has diversity of different definitions in modern Russian language. So now I would like to tell you how to form past tense in Russian. So you take the infinitive form, снять, you cut the infinitive ending tense of sign, and you add l. This suffix l indicates that everything happened, what you are talking about, everything happened in past tense, yeah? So it's very easy. In Russian language, you form past tense and you have only 4 options. Masculine form снял, снял, feminine сняла, сняла, neuter сняла, сняла, and plural form in Russian is сняли, сняли. So here you see that in feminine form, the stress in this Russian verb is a little bit unusual. So you say снял, сняла, сняла, сняли. Yeah. And here I would like to talk a little bit about Russian reduction. So if you talk about feminine form, you see that the stress is on the last syllable сняла, сняла. So people, according to phonetic Russian rules, should pronounce ya in weak and stressed position, something in between ye and e. So you do not say сняла, you should say сняла, сняла, yeah? Again, listen to this one more time. Not сняла, but сняла. Okay, if you are a foreigner and you would say сняла, that would be not a mistake, at least not a very big mistake. It will be part of your foreign charm, definitely, and it will be also your foreign accent, but I must admit that Russian people would say сняла. Okay, and we have some dialects, and in some parts of Russia, which is a very big country, some people would say сняла, definitely. Yeah. So now I would like again to make some examples for better understanding how past tense works in the Russian language. So, masculine form. Я снял копии, пойдем оформлять визу. Я снял копии, пойдем оформлять визу. If you at least one time tried to make a visa, you know that if you do it on your own without any touristic agency, you know it's quite a stressful and a long process with many different copies of your documents. Okay, now let's talk about feminine in Russian language. So the example here is хозяйка сняла котенка с дерева. Хозяйка сняла котенка с дерева. So if you have a cat and if you have a dacha, summer house, or maybe you live in the countryside in a village, you know that cats, they can climb very up how you would say, like there, on the top of the tree, I would say. And sometimes they cannot climb down and they sit over there on the top of the tree and cry and meow and asking for help. This happens sometimes. Okay. And I will skip neuter form, which I suppose is not super important, and we will move on to plural now. Мы сняли дом у озера на выходные. Мы сняли дом у озера на выходные. Yes, and this is not the end of this Russian lesson. Maybe you are tired, but we have something else to discuss, and this is imperative. So we have only two forms here, singular and plural. So singular, сними, сними, and we always write it with exclamation mark. I hope I said it correctly. Yeah, exclamation mark. And then we have plural form снимите, снимите. When I was a little girl, teenager, maybe this TV show is still on air, I don't know, because I don't have TV at all at my home. So we had this TV show which was called «Снимите это немедленно». «Снимите это немедленно». And I loved this show. It was about clothes. Like a girl, she had a quite bad or ridiculous or unusual style. And then the professional stylist came to her and they changed her style, yeah, her hair, her manicure, her clothes, and it was very interesting. I think that this is an American TV show that we bought as a franchise or something like that. I love this show. I love everything which is connected to style, to clothing. Yeah, this is quite interesting to me. Yeah, and now let's talk about singular form, сними. So now let's talk about filming. For example, if you want that I would make a video about some specific topic about Russian language, no, for example, you want to watch a video about Russian adjectives, so you could write me in a comment, Veronika, сними видео о русских прилагательных. Veronika, сними видео о русских прилагательных. And I would understand that you want a video about Russian adjectives. By the way, in the beginning of these Russian lessons, I said Russian teacher Veronika, and now I say Veronika. So in English or in Western culture, you would say Veronika, and in Russian language, my name is pronounced Veronika. That's the difference, yeah, but I got used to both options. All of them work for me, so you can easily call me Veronika and Veronika. I will understand it's me. Yeah, many thanks for watching, and yes, I hope you have a good day. Many thanks for your support, for your likes, for your lovely comments, for your donations, and see you very soon. Увидимся скоро. Пока-пока. Bye-bye.